Hi everybody. I am Susan Fry, and this is my cohort,
Ron Fry.
Hey, welcome to Frycroft. We are broadcasting live the next 2 episodes of No Holds Barred, the Pericles Project. Live and in person, episodes 5 and 6.
Episodes 5 and 6.
That's right.
And we want to give a huge shout out to Tom and ML, who hosted the first couple of sessions, who are brilliant spokesmodels, who have set a very high bar, and who are remarkably talented and lovable friends.
And who let us steal their son to help broadcast this. Who was
Thanks,
sitting...
Nick.
Thanks, Nick. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
So.
Yeah, you don't want me touching that computer.
Right. Can you tell us about...
Are you joining in with the cocktail? So I have my pad because I want to make sure that I don't, really royally mess anything up. It is called the Pentapolis Party Punch.
It sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me. So I have our versions. If you are joining in at home, please grab and sit back because we're going to tell you a little bit about what's going on. Let me get you ours.
And if you are tired of doing tongue twisters with pickled peppers in them, you could always say Pericles Project Pentapolis Party Punch 7 or 8 times in a hurry. My party punch tastes like juice.
Mine doesn't.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well. A couple of pieces of trivia before we get into episodes 5 and 6.
We have a cheat sheet.
I keep looking over here. First off,
here we go.
There are props in each one of the episodes that you may notice that reflect our health and safety standards while we're doing filming. We may have a quiz about those between shows or after the shows.
This is true.
Secondly, you will note in the episodes we have action that takes place in Pentapolis, and the Pentapolis Party Punch. The Pentapolis that you'll see is actually a couple of months different. It's supposed to happen around the same time, but it was shot a couple of months different.
We shot part of it in September, and we shot that's a whole different kind of show, and we shot the rest of it in November for reasons, and it's all completely shot out of order. And so this absolutely masterful editing job, seriously, you will not be able to tell that tree has leaves on it, and then in the second half of the scene it doesn't, because you just won't notice.
It is
right?
The magic of Jim DeCook.
Yay.
And I think that it's time for a recap.
It is time for a recap.
Let people know what's happened.
So we said we're going into episodes 5 and 6. And instead of us doing a really lousy job at a recap, we are going to totally steal from our very good friend who we didn't ask ahead of time. CS. I'll ask later if we can use his name maybe in between. And I'm going to ask if you will do the recap.
Absolutely.
You can do it in your fun recap voice while I drink.
In capital letters, our story so far. Prince Pericles goes to Antioch to win the hand of a princess, but he is creeped out by the, quote, daddy-daughter vibe, unquote, parentheses, ew, exclamation point, close paren, and backs away slowly. Paragraph break. Did I say slowly? Actually, convinced the Antioch king means to kill him, he runs like hell back to Tyre, where his advisor says, don't bring your drama back here, so off again he sails. New paragraph break. He lands in Tarsus, which was in bad shape, and plays savior with his food and supplies. But the Antioch assassin was still after him, so he leaves Tarsus. Brackets, capital letters, shipwreck!
Ah!
Close brackets. Pericles washes up outside Pentapolis, where some ridiculous fishermen tell him that the king of Pentapolis is going to have a tournament to win his daughter. That's where we left off. That is the action so far. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, CS. And I think it is about that time.
It is time. Let's
Nick,
go.
Would you please take us into episode 5?
Let's go.
Yet cease your ire, you angry stars of heaven. Oh, let it suffice the greatness of your power. To bereft the prince of all his fortunes, and having thrown him from your watery grave, here to have death and peace is all he'll crave.
Oh, faith, friends. I am thinking of the poor men we saw cast away before us, even now.
Alas, poor souls. Now for me, a handsome fellow. Come, thou shalt go home, and we'll have flesh for holidays, fish for fasting days, and more o'er, puddings and flapjacks, and thou shalt be welcome. Hark you, sir, do you know where you are?
Not well.
Why, I'll tell you. This is called Pentapolis, and our king, the good Simonides.
He is a happy king, since from his subjects he gains the name of good by his government.
Brother, help! Armor!
My shipwreck now is no ill, since I have here my father's gift in his will.
And I'll tell you, he hath a fair daughter, and tomorrow is her birthday. And there are princes and knights come from all parts of the world to joust and tourney for her love. Why, wilt thou tourney for the lady?
Prince, I am clothed in steel. Then honor be but equal to my will. This day I'll rise, or else add ill to ill.
Are the knights ready?
They are, my liege.
Return them, we are ready. And our daughter, in honor of whose birth these triumphs are, sits like beauty's child whom nature gat for men to see, and seeing wonder at.
It pleaseth you, my royal father, to express my commendations great, whose merits less.
'Tis now your honor, daughter, to explain the labor of each knight.
Which, to preserve mine honor, I'll perform.
Who is the first that doth prefer themselves?
A knight of Sparta, my renowned father, and the device she bears upon her shield are the words, "Thy light is life to me."
She loves you well that holds her life in you. And who's the second that presents himself?
A prince of Macedon, my royal father, and the device he bears upon his shield are the words, "More in gentleness than strength."
And what's the third?
The third of Antioch, and his words, "Triumph leads me here."
What is the fourth?
Who feeds the fire extinguishes as well.
Which shows that power hath his beauty, which can as well inflame as it can kill. The fifth and last, the which the knight himself with such a graceful courtesy delivered.
He seems to be a stranger, but his motto is, "In this I hope I live."
A pretty moral. From the dejected state wherein he is, he hopes by you his fortunes yet may flourish.
He had need mean better than his outward show. Can any way speak in his just commend?
He may well be a stranger, for he comes to an honored triumph, strangely furnished.
And on set purpose, let his armor rust, till this day to scour it in the dust.
Opinion's but a fool that makes us scan the outward habit by the inward man. Knights, to say your welcome were superfluous. To place upon the volume of your deeds as in a title page, your worth in arms were more than you expect, or more than's fit, since every worth in show commends itself. Prepare for mirth becomes a feast. Your princes and my guests.
But you, my knight and guest, to whom this wreath of victory I give, and crown you king of this day's happiness.
'Tis more by fortune, lady, than by merit.
Call it what you will, the day is yours, and here I hope is none that envies it. In framing an artist, art hath thus decreed to make some good, but others to exceed. Come, queen of the feast, for daughter so you are, here, take your place, marshal the rest as they deserve their grace.
We are honored much by good Simonides.
Your presence glads our days, honor we love, for who hates honor hates the gods above.
Sir, yonder is your place.
Some other is more fit.
Contend not, sir, for we are gentle folk, that neither in our hearts nor outward eyes envy the great, nor do the low despise.
You are right, courteous knights.
Sit, sir, sit.
By Juno, sure, he is a gallant gentleman.
He's but a country gentleman, has done no more than other knights have done. Has broken a staff or so, so let it pass.
To me, he seems like diamond to glass.
What are you, merry knights?
Who other can we be in this royal presence?
Here, with the cup that's stored unto the brim, as you do love filled to your mistress' lips, we drink this health to you.
We
Salute
salute
your
your
grace.
grace.
Yet pause a while. Your knight doth sit too melancholy, as if the entertainment in our court had not a show might countervail his worth. Note it not you, Thais?
What is it to me, my father?
Therefore, make his entrance more sweet. Here, say, we drink this standing bowl of wine to him.
Alas, my father, it befits not me unto a stranger knight to be so bold.
How? Do as I bid, or you'll move me else.
Now, by the gods, he could not please me better.
And furthermore, tell him we desire to know of him, of whence he is, his name and parentage.
The king, my father, sir, has drunk to you.
I thank both him and you, and pledge him freely.
And further, he desires to know of you, of whence you are, your name and parentage.
A gentleman of Tyre, my name Pericles. My education been in arts and arms, who, looking for adventure, was by the rough seas refs of ship and men, and after shipwreck was driven upon this shore.
He thanks your grace, names himself Pericles, a gentleman of Tyre, who only by misfortune of the sea, bereft of ships and men, cast on this shore.
Now, by the gods, I pity his misfortune, and will awake him from his melancholy.
Hi, welcome back.
We want to give a big, no-holds-barred shout-out to Anthony Denaro, also known as Why Not, capital Y-N-O-T, who did the choreographer and got the dancers together for the action scenes that you saw.
Yeah, they're all dancers from the UWM dance department. Thank you guys and thems.
Thanks much. And Google capital YNOT Milwaukee to read some excellent stuff about this amazing individual.
Yeah. And I saw some of your comments during the episode, and I see that you really kind of had a good time with the joust and the little spaghetti western music. We did too. That was fun to do. So speaking of comments, we're going to get right into episode 6, but please comment. Ask questions. I know you're going to be enthralled watching it, so maybe ask later. We'll get back to them or something like that. So without further...
comment, and Nick, let's have episode 6.
"'Tis now your honor, daughter, to explain the labor of each one."
A knight of Sparta, and the device she bears upon her shield are the words, "Thy light is life to me." More in gentleness than strength, triumph leads me here. Who feeds the fire extinguishes as well. His motto is, "In this I hope I live." But you, my knight and guest, to whom this wreath of victory I give, and crown you king of this day's happiness. The king, my father, sir, has drunk to you.
I thank both him and you, and pledge him freely. My education been in arts and arms, who, looking for adventure, was by the rough seas refs of ships and men, and after shipwreck was driven upon this shore.
To me, he seems like diamond to glass.
Now, by the gods, I pity him his misfortune, and will awake him from his melancholy. Conjointly we sit too long on trifles, and waste the time which looks for other revels. Even in your armors as you are addressed, will well become a soldier's dance. So it was well asked, 'twas so well performed. Come, sir. Here's a lady that wants breathing too, and I have heard the knights of Tyre are excellent at making ladies trip, and that their excellence as well.
In those that practice them, they are, my lord.
Oh, that's as much as you would be denied by your fair courtesy? Unclasp, unclasp. Thanks, gentle folk, to all. All have done well, but you the best. Pages and lights to convey these knights unto their several lodgings. Yours, sir, we have ordered to be next, our own. Therefore each one betake him to their rest. Tomorrow all for speeding, do your best.
No. Aeschines, know this of me. Antiochus from incest lived not free, to which the most high gods, not minding longer to withhold the vengeance they had in store, due to this heinous capital offense, even in the height and pride of all his glory, when he was seated in a chariot of an inestimable value, and his daughter with him, a fire from heaven came and shriveled up their bodies even to loathing, for they so stunk that all those eyes adored them ere their fall. Scorn now their hand to give them burial.
'Twas very strange.
And yet but justice. And though the king were great, his greatness was no guard to bar heaven's shaft. But sin had his reward.
'Tis very true.
And yet,
Our Helicanus, a word.
with me, happy days, welcome, my lords.
No, our griefs are risen to the top, and now at length they overflow their banks.
Your griefs, on what? Wrong not your prince you love.
Wrong not yourself then, noble Helicanus. If the prince do live, let us salute him, or know what grounds made happy by his breath. If in the world he live, we'll seek him out. If in his grave he rest, we'll find him there, and be resolved. He lives to govern us, or dead, gives cause to mourn his funeral, and leave us our free election. So, knowing the kingdom is without a head, like goodly buildings left without a roof soon fall to ruin, your noble self, that best know how to rule and how to reign, we thus submit unto our sovereign. Live, noble Helicanus!
If you love your prince, Pericles, forbear a 12-month longer. Let me entreat you to forbear the absence of your king. If in which time expired he not return, I will with aged patience bear your yoke. To this love, then go search like nobles, like noble subjects, and in your search spend your adventurous worth.
To wisdom he's a fool that will not yield. And since our Helicanus doth enjoin us, we, with our travel, will endeavor it.
Then you love us, we you, and we shall clasp hands. When peers thus knit, a kingdom ever stands.
We did it! Episode 5 and 6. Love it. Thank God for the subtitles. I read them. I do. You would think. But every time one of the episodes comes on, I read the subtitles and go, oh, now I get that.
Do you have any questions? Because I have lots of answers.
Yeah. Lots of comments. Wonderful comments. Thank you so much for loving the dance and for the use of the 6-foot safety pole for the dance between Pericles and Thaisa. Thaisa. Man, Thaisa. Yeah. You know, that pole was at every single shoot, and it was a constant character. We didn't actually name it, not in front of anybody, but there came a point when we were blocking or rehearsing or something, if someone looked like they might be shuffling a little too close, we didn't even have to get it out. We would just say, Paul! And everyone would jump back. It was great. Felt like power. I'm looking at comments, so.
All right. Do you have any that are worth repeating? You've already said,
Talliard, worst assassin ever. Absolutely. The dance battle we mentioned. Flapjacks! The knights. Oh, thank you very much for the flashing the shields, the sigils up for each of the knights so that you could see what the different sigils were. And of course, the knight from Antioch was kind of a jerk. So, yeah. Let's see. Does that mean no more assassin? Well, you'll find out next time.
Tune in next time.
Are we? Yeah. You know, actually, one of the things that really struck me about this last episode, where Thaisa and Pericles are kind of like starting to dig each other. That whole king invites a bunch of guys to come and compete for the love of his daughter thing, you know, that kind of didn't work out well for him in the first episode. So you would think he'd remember that and maybe shy away, but yeah, no, it worked once. It's kind of like Shakespeare addressing girls as boys. Just do it over and over and over again.
Yeah. Speaking of Shakespeare just doing things, the scene where you see the knights actually jousting happens very, very seldom in stage productions of Pericles. Right. And my guess is that there was no jousting when the play was originally presented, because the globe stage is about 28 cubits wide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anything else before we...
Let's see. There are requests for some spoilers, but I'm really sorry. I'm not going to let you know what happens with the assassin. He's just, so far, is pretty worthless, because Pericles is still alive, and it's already the end of episode 6. Out of 16. We got 10 more to go. And I'm not going to let you know if Pericles and Thaisa live happily ever after. You're going to have to tune in and find out. And speaking of tuning in...
tune in a couple of weeks, where we'll have episodes 7 and 8, where you will see a combination of live action and graphic novel styles.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you so much for joining us.
Had a good time.
This was, putting the whole thing together was an amazing experience. So much creativity, so much love. I mean, the books behind us are fake, but the creativity and the love that went into making these episodes is very real, and we're just thrilled that you're joining us for it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody. Bye, Tom and Amel. Mwah. We love you. Thanks for letting us have Nick. We're going to keep him.
Bye, everybody.